You know, I often get approached on the side of the road and people tell me, I miss the old Pokemon. I miss when Pokemon was 2D, and it was better. I miss when I could just tell somebody I played Pokemon without them purposely kicking me in the shins, spitting on me, and getting me permanently removed from Hot Topic. But really, did Pokemon actually used to be substantially better? Did the dimensional switch to 3D in 2013 lead to a significant decline in quality in this series? And the amount of serotonin I could squeeze out of my brain at any one point? Did switching to 3D quote-unquote kill the series? See, I've got a little bit of a problem with that assessment, okay? And if you give me maybe 7 to 10 minutes depending on how much I allocate to this video, I want to explain why I don't think it's 3D Pokemon that's led to this train of thought, but something else. Something that has been underlying this series a lot longer, so just hear me out, okay? Fantastic. Now, how did we get here? See, semi-objectively in the last 10 years, Pokemon games have had worsening problems that only started when our favourite critters ascended into a higher plane of dimensional fidelity. For a recent example, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet absolutely wins the award for main series Pokemon game with character models most likely to be mistaken for a botched amputation. What with a non-0% chance that any character model can just randomly decide, yeah, no, I think John Carpenter was onto something. And that's not even mentioning how despite running on supposed modern hardware, the last two Pokemon games feature backgrounds with the graphical polish of a blind child trying to draw a mountain from visual memory. And don't even get me started on this tree. Yeah, fuck this tree. So, reasonably speaking, yeah, no good. Even with my collection of plushies that ominously glow red when I criticize Pokemon, I'm not about to try and gaslight anybody into thinking that this and any other performance-related issues is in any way remotely okay. But some of y'all need to fucking chill, okay? Because what I do take issue with is people automatically assuming that because of these issues, that I do need to clarify, I'm in no way trying to excuse here, that Pokemon has just stopped trying, in all aspects, be that story, characters, design, features. Because compared to 2D games, is it really fair to say that Generation 9 tried less to create a new world with new ideas, characters, and experiences, even if personally playing it sometimes resembles smoking a fat hit of salvia and staring directly at a Hieronymus Bosch painting? Did Generation 7 have less effort allotted to its characters than any of these past rivals? And hell, even if you think that Hau is annoying, Lily is cringe, and the entirety of Team Skull should be locked in a shipping container for an unspecified amount of time, can you truly say that there was less intent placed into this than just, yeah, nah mate, Mafia's trying to nick your Pokemon? Parts 1 and 2. And do not hit me with the designs are lazy now. I could run over a Stantler going 90 miles an hour in a pickup truck, and I would not be able to tell I just hit a mystical sentient being. This is just a fucking deer, okay? What I'm trying to impress upon you here is that purely off of in-game metrics, I can't in good faith say there's less effort involved with any of the recent games just because they're 3D. Hell, even if I do prefer the 2D games overall. And you know, aspects such as difficulty, music, designs, which Pokemon professor you'd like to take on a romantic date to a suspiciously isolated location, that's on you. That's subjective. But the problems I've just discussed are more of a result of Pokemon's uber-rushed release schedule, one that's been causing problems for years, in both 2D games and 3D games. But it's only now that we're reaching a tipping point. Allow me to explain what I mean. Pokemon as a series has always been rushed. Since its very inception, there's never been a point where we've had any significant break in time from constant main series releases, not in the same way Mario or Zelda games have had longer development cycles for added polish or rendered nipples. And when I make the claim that Pokemon has always been rushed, Generation 2 was very infamously a nightmare to develop, with Satoru Iwata practically having to sell one of his fucking kidneys just to make sure that game even made it halfway out the door. Would Generation 2's Kanto been so barren if given an extra 2 years of development? Conversely, Pokémon Emerald and Platinum feature plenty of improvements that make them definitively better games than their counterparts. But for all their polish and quality, would these third games actually have been necessary if the original games had more development time? Would Ruby and Sapphire have an actual post-game if given an extra year of development in the first place? Would Game Freak actually need to fix the atrocious load times of Diamond and Pearl if they came out in 2007 or 8? Compared to 06? And Pokemon is a series that was always very likely going to inevitably switch to 3D, but it's not until Pokemon had to rush a 3D world with 3D houses and 3D shirtless professors. Did the nature of Pokemon's release schedule start to affect the game's performance in, contemporary ways? In my view, the botched performance of Pokemon's latest 3D games is a result of 20 years plus of continuous demand and desire to keep pumping out a franchise year after year after year. The switch to 3D didn't so much signify that Game Freak had stopped trying to write stories, design Pokemon, or create new things. It shows that if Game Freak does not
slow the fuck down,
it's going to result in its games continually suffering, okay? But it's not until 2 decades plus of year-end rushing that we've reached a point where it's pretty much unignorable now. So 3D itself didn't ruin Pokemon, but it was unfortunately very likely going to always reach this point being such a ubiquitous and consumed commodity. It's not 3D, it's Moni. God, that's a corny fucking line. That is an awful line. Why did I write that down? Anyway, I hope this made sense to somebody. At least 1 or 2 people understood what I was trying to say here. If anyone's actually made it to this point in the video, type in the comments section, "I eat ants" with a smiley face, to let the world know that you were here and that you also eat ants. Yeah, alright, I'm leaving now.